Hello and welcome to the GRADD Dialogue. My guest today is Abby Shelton. She has been in the news recently on many different projects and programs that the city has been working on. So we have her to come and talk to us about what is going on in Owensboro. Abby is the Community and Economic Development Director prior to getting the position as the Housing and Urban Development Entitlement Grant Programs. She has in the prior positions worked with the Mayor Ron Payne, City Manager, along with assisting other planning programs. Prior to that, she was the staff at the GRADD and helping GRADD in the communication as well as the economic development and community planning as well. So Abby, welcome to the GRADD Dialogue. And as far as in case you may not know, she has a communication of arts degree from Kentucky Western College, and also she's been HUD fellow at the Eastern Kentucky University. Great. I know you heard that before from me too. And one of those disappointment that I had when I lost you, and also one of the anger that I had with the city manager then, Bill Parrish, that he stole from me. And then again, I think it's a great addition to the city of Owensboro. Welcome on the GRADD Dialogue. When you got into this managing the community development for Owensboro, the HUD programs anyway, the biggest thing that you made a splash was the Triplett Twist. I know that since then there are other projects that you were working on, and you've been on talking about different things. So let's talk about the Triplett Twist. Can you tell us what is it about, what it is now, and how it's going to impact and everything what Owensboro does.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
I'm very delighted to come and speak about what we're doing at the city. Yes, Triplett Twist is coming to an end in June 2020. We spent 5 years over there influencing where money's been spent on exterior home rehab. We've done some commercial facade. And of course, we've been working to take down Gabe's Tower.
Right.
We did work with the State Historic Preservation to see if we could save it. Put the property basically up for sale for free if somebody would come in and develop it, but we didn't get any takers. So basically we're wrapping that up, and we've spent I think close to 2.5 in public investment, and that includes my funds as well as some of the street paving projects that went on. And we are hoping to get about $13 million in private investment out of that area. So, people may say, well, we don't see a lot of if you drive down Triplett Street, you may not see a lot of movement, but a lot of the movement has been in the neighborhoods with exterior rehab. So, and that's our focus, is to stabilize the community, the neighborhood, by providing that assistance to these homeowners that may not have the extra funding to redo siding, to redo their roof, to redo concrete fence. And so it's a beautification thing, but it's also stability.
So when do you expect that big tower, which actually I started out, my first stop in Owensboro in 1973 was at that Gabe's Tower. So when you think that's going to come down? Because when that comes down, they're going to see a lot of changes visually.
I think the timeline is probably about 3 months. I know they're working in the neighborhood right now to evaluate, make sure all the homeowners know what's going on. I believe they're going to have a meeting and really do this the right way. So it's very close to residential area. So we'll see a big change. I've got a lot of people asking questions about what am I going to do with my property? It's a property. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but we are investing a great deal in Gabe Shopping Center. With a facade upgrade. So what that will do is hopefully bring some anchors into that area, such as upgraded food services and things of that nature.
Gabe's Tower has been a trademark, for decades for Owensboro, just like the Executive Inn was. So are we going to see a imploding or anything?
No,
or is it going to be just slowly coming down?
Just slowly, piece by piece. We don't want to ruffle any of the neighborhood feathers, so we're going to do it the right way, safely.
Right. That's great. Good luck on that. I think we're going to see a lot of changes once that comes down, because that visually anyway. So let's talk about the recent one that you've been had a plan put together, and also made a presentation of the working group, the city commission as well. So let's talk about.
So the Northwest Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area. Say that 10 times fast. It's
NRSA.
Yeah, NRSA. HUD lingo. So basically, the city's been very successful in putting NRSAs together to to infuse the CDBG and home funding that we receive from HUD into compact areas to get a bigger bang for our buck. So the Northwest NRSA, we've been working on that for about 2 years now. A year and a half, very diligently pulling together data, PVA data, of course, GIS data, mapping, walking, photos, just anything we could find to understand what the market analysis is. And we did hire a private contractor to take care of that for us. Of course, it came up with we need more affordable and market rate housing.
Right.
So we're going to work on that in that area. But the area extends from Walnut Street on the east to Ewing on the west, and then the northern border is the river for all intents and purposes, and the municipal boundaries, and then the north side of Fifth Street. So there's quite a few parcels. There's over 2,000 parcels in that area, and we want to make sure that it's highly residential. So we're going to mimic some of the programming that we did at Triplett Twist. So existing homeowner exterior rehab. We're still figuring out the funding levels, but it'll be a small match, very small match from the homeowner, if any. And it's a sliding scale on income. Of course, all of HUD's programs are income related. So we want to stabilize the neighborhood, residential neighborhood in that area as well. But we're also going to offer some commercial grants, some small commercial grants, and we're exploring the idea of maybe some exterior rehab for rental housing, or maybe interior. I'm not sure yet how that's going to play out.
Have you had any public meetings in the location wise? I'm sure that when it affects in somebody's homes, they all want to concern about.
Absolutely, that is. We have a citizen participation plan. Of course, HUD requires that. So we did a public meeting at the senior center. I'm sorry, Dana, at the senior center of Owensboro, Davis County.
Right, senior community center.
Yes. So she was gracious enough to allow us to hold a public meeting in the gymnasium there, and we did that last September, I believe. And so we've from that pulled together an advisory team that has met once so far, and they're going to meet again next Thursday. We also have a citizens advisory for community development that met on February 17th, I think. And then we're going to meet again on March 23rd to approve the plan and bless it and give it to the commission to approve at their April 7th commission meeting.
So if you talk about the steps for that to get into real changes and everything else, we're talking the city commission has to approve the plan, then you request the funding from the HUD as well as the city?
Yes, so we will submit that plan to HUD on or before May 8th. We do have a public comment period that we advertise in the newspaper and make sure that anybody, it's a 30-day public comment period, but of course, anybody that wants to tell me anything throughout the course of the next 5 years, please, let me know what we're doing. But yeah, as part of that plan, hopefully, well, we've already had our funding announced for this next year, so we'll have to get under contract, and then hopefully HUD approves NRSA and our consolidated annual action plan, and we'll get that going in July 2020. We'll have applications available and hopefully be able to disperse some funding in the fall.
When you said the funding has been approved or it is authorized, whatever that is, and people may not know, you're talking about the funding coming from the federal government to the city.
And they're always a year behind.
Right.
So it's not actually for this year, but it'll be we can use it for the upcoming year. We are threatened to take we are threatened that they'll take the HUD funding away every year, but we managed to get more. And of course, that funding is directly related to the census count. So
that's a good point too, because we're going to talk about the census to the complete count committee, later on too. When you talk about the HUD funding, kind of give us the audience some idea, where in the past that funding has made a difference in terms of the housing issue or the beautification or even rehabbing the community and homes.
Sure. So if you'll go, this will be our 5th NRSA. So if you go around Mechanicsville or Baptistown or Germantown, you'll see some new houses that we've built, and I think that makes the biggest impact, because when you have a dilapidated structure that we finally are able to either demolish or they give the property to us, we're able to make the biggest impact, I think, with the home partnership funds, which is much more stringent than CDBG funding, and I think that's the biggest impact we make in a neighborhood, because it raises the property values for the existing homeowners that are there.
What's the level of funding that we have in the last couple of years?
So it's gone up a little bit in the past few years. Right now we're at about $500,000 for CDBG funds.
That's CDBG, okay.
And then $266,000 for home funds this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is, you said, based on our
The population, yes.
So I guess that's, again, goes back to the importance of having a right count,
Yes,
number of counts,
absolutely.
and everything else.
Yeah, and the area we're in right now has a very low,
Right.
historically low count for the census. So if the Northwest area wants more money, please do the census.
Yeah. Let's that's one of the things that you talk about the northwest
NRSA,
area.
yeah.
The biggest project, and I'm sorry, is that has been talked about in the past, and at times some people call it been kind of bouncing back and forth. Is the Owensboro Davis County Senior Center.
Yes.
So can I tell us how that project would be affected by NRSA? And that's what the plan is, and where the seniors are kind of we are concerned too, because
Yes.
we have a lot invested at the center right now, for the kitchen and everything
They
else.
do a lot of the Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes the only contact
Right.
some of those people have. So
Right.
it's very important for us to see that continues. The city has put an RFP out because we do own that property for either renovation of that existing building, rehab. We're going to we didn't want to box ourselves in, and then in exchange for possibly the property, or however that works out, we may have a new senior center built on that front lawn. So we're exploring all our options and making sure that we take care of that population, as well as make sure that we have a nice center in that area that mainly serves the seniors, but also can maybe function as a community event space.
So we're talking about right in front of the existing
Yes,
center.
on the green space
Okay.
in front of the
Okay,
center.
so it's not the other across the
No.
street and everything else. Because I think it is important to know, because people have so much misconception.
Yes.
From 54 to Triplett Street. Or even I hear the comments from, they ask us, are we going to be going to the mall area? So at least there is a plan, for a
Yes.
location as part of the whole project or
Yeah,
something.
and we're hoping a low-income housing tax credit can be used on that
right,
property, because it's not only it can be of historic value, but the bones are perfect. It's been kept up. The bones are perfect for some low-income senior housing. So that may be an option, and we don't know. We're hoping that. Yeah, I'm not the developer. I'm not putting
Right,
my money
right,
there. So
right.
we want to make sure that the developer makes a smart decision as well.
And also wanted to mention that, that I don't know how far you are involved in the city on that. I'm sure you are, as far as the livable community. The
Yes.
Owensboro recently got designated by the AARP.
Yes.
And because everything you're talking about, Abby, is all connected. Especially the seniors center.
Yes.
And as for how to make the community livable, not just for the seniors, but livable as a
Everybody.
community.
Yes. It's very integral, and I think that opportunity will open up some funding,
Uh-huh.
not only for, we focus, the majority of our funding for the city obviously goes for fire and police protection, and streets and stormwater, and making sure that everything is, everybody can travel on the roads and they're
Right,
maintained well,
right,
and they have
right.
sidewalks. But the parks are something that give the community economic development value. And a lot of companies and a lot of people moving to the city
Right,
will look at parks first. So,
right.
parks is one thing that can benefit from it with the grants. There's, all kinds of different options available with those AARP grants. And I think making more people aware, more social service agencies aware of how we can work together
Right.
to incorporate that throughout our community for everybody, not just the senior population, but we want to make that a marketable solution for us.
Yeah. That's great. I'm still so proud of you, what you're doing
you.
there and what you did at GRADD. And so people watching the show got to remember that within about 90 to 120 days, they'll see a lot of changes at the Triplett Street area or Twist area.
Yes.
And you already plans are going great as far as the north the NRSA that you have now going. So it's a lot of things happening in
A lot of
Owensboro,
things,
and then
yes.
you really played a big role in making those happen. So I want to thank you for being on the GRADD Dialogue, and also thank you, being a friend and also being a former GRADD staff, because
And
that means a lot to
congratulations,
me.
Jiten.
Well, thank you. Yes, yeah. Anyway, we've been talking to Abby Shelton, talking about what's happening in Owensboro and a lot of things in the community and economic development. As though, her role as the community and economic development director to the HUD program has a tremendous impact on what happens to Owensboro. Especially the area that needs to have a lot of attention, and also get a beautification, some housing issues, and also trying to have some ongoing energy going in the community. So again, thank you. And if any question, you can always contact me or Abby at the City Hall. And have a great day.